Have you ever wondered what happens in your kitchen? I mean, really wondered? When all the lights are off and you're asleep? Well, I have, and I think I know. It's a party. A big fun food party. In this kitchen right here, live the best friends you could ever meet. They are a little group of food pals. They call themselves the Kitchen Crew, which is just adorable. They are always ready for fun, always ready for an adventure. And let me tell you, in a kitchen, adventure is always just around the corner. Or, you know, just behind the toaster. First up, let's meet the leader. Her name is Brie. She's a wedge of cheese. Not just any cheese. A very wise and brave Brie cheese. She's creamy, she's dreamy, and she's got a plan for everything. She's the one everyone looks to when things get a little melty. Brie always keeps her cool, even when she's out of the fridge. She has a big heart and a can-do attitude. She believes that with a little teamwork and maybe a cracker, anything is possible. Everyone trusts Brie. She's just that kind of cheese, you know? The dependable kind. Next, we have Chip. Chip is a chocolate chip cookie. He's the funny one. Oh, he is so funny. He's always cracking jokes and making everyone laugh. Sometimes his chocolate chips fly off when he gets too excited. It's hilarious. Chip is super energetic and a little bit crumbly, but that's why everyone loves him. He brings the sweetness and the giggles to the group. He can be a little clumsy, always bumping into things, but his heart is as sweet as he is. He's the kind of friend who makes every single day feel like a party. And you can't forget Petey the pea. Petey is a tiny green pea who rolled away from his pod and found a new family. He is the smallest of the group, but he has the biggest spirit. He is super fast. He can roll and zip and zoom all over the kitchen counter faster than anyone. Petey is also very curious. He loves to explore new places, like the mysterious land behind the fruit bowl. He proves that it doesn't matter how small you are. What matters is how big your sense of adventure is. And Petey's is huge. He's a little green ball of pure joy. So one sunny morning, the kitchen was buzzing. The big human had just finished making breakfast. Sunlight streamed through the window, making everything sparkle. It was a beautiful day. The kitchen crew was hanging out near the spice rack, which was their favorite spot. It was like their clubhouse. They were chatting and laughing, just enjoying the morning. Chip was telling a joke about a waffle. It was a good one too. It was the perfect start to a perfect day. Or so they thought. Everything seemed just right. Suddenly, they heard a tiny little cry. It was so faint, they almost missed it. Help! Oh, please help me! The voice was shaky and scared. Brie, with her excellent hearing, hushed everyone. Did you hear that? She whispered. They all stopped and listened very carefully. There it was again. I'm stuck. The voice was coming from far away, all the way across the vast, shiny countertop. It was a huge distance for tiny food friends. A journey filled with unknown dangers, like, you know, a dishcloth. Spooky. Peeking over the edge of a cutting board, they saw it. A single, lonely blueberry. Let's call her Betty. Betty the blueberry had rolled away from her carton, and now she was stuck. She had rolled right to the edge of the sink and couldn't get back. She was teetering on the brink of the big, scary, watery abyss. Oh no, this was a big problem. A very big problem for a very small blueberry. She looked so scared and so alone over there. The kitchen crew knew they had to do something. They couldn't just leave her there. The countertop seemed like a huge, empty desert. The sink was like a giant canyon. Getting to Betty would be a real challenge. It was a long and dangerous journey. A drop of water could feel like a tidal wave. A stray crumb could be like a giant boulder. How could they possibly get all the way over there? And how could they save her from the edge of the sink without falling in themselves? It seemed impossible. But for the kitchen crew, impossible was just another word for, let's do this. They were not going to let a friend down. Brie, the clever cheese, immediately took charge. Okay team, we need a plan, she announced, her voice full of confidence. We can't just roll over there without thinking. It's too risky. She looked around the countertop, her sharp eyes scanning for anything they could use. She saw a long piece of uncooked spaghetti. She saw a bottle cap. She saw a trail of sugar crystals. Her mind started whirring, putting all the pieces together like a delicious puzzle. She knew they had to work together. This was a job for everyone. Chip, you're strong, Brie said. We need you to help us build a bridge. Chip puffed out his chest, feeling very important. A bridge. He had never built a bridge before. This was exciting. Brie pointed to the long, uncooked spaghetti noodle. We can use that, she explained, but we need something to hold it in place. Her eyes landed on a couple of leftover marshmallows near the toaster. They were sticky and strong, perfect anchors for their spaghetti bridge. The plan was starting to form, and everyone was getting excited. Petey, you're the fastest, Brie continued. We need you to be our scout. You have to get this string to Betty. She pointed to a strand from a tea bag. It was long and light. You can roll over there, give her the string, and we will pull her to safety. But you have to be careful. It's a long way. Petey nodded, his little green body bouncing with anticipation. He was ready for the mission. He wasn't scared, well maybe a little, but he was more brave than scared. He knew his friends were counting on him. so the team sprang into action. It was amazing to watch. Chip and Bree worked together, pushing and rolling the giant spaghetti noodle into place. They used all their might to position it across a small gap, anchoring the ends with the sticky marshmallows. It was hard work, but they didn't give up. Teamwork! See? It works! Meanwhile, Petey grabbed the end of the teabag string in his mouth and started his journey. He zipped across the countertop, dodging a breadcrumb here and a drop of juice there. He was a little green blur on a big mission. Petey made it! He rolled right up to Betty the Blueberry, who was so happy to see him. Don't worry, Petey chirped. We're here to help. He gave her the end of the string. On the other side, Bree and Chip held on tight. Okay, Betty, hold on! Bree called out. And pull! Together, Bree and Chip started pulling the string, slowly and carefully. It was like a little food tug of war for a good cause. They pulled and pulled inch by inch with all their strength. Betty the Blueberry slid safely away from the edge of the sink. She was safe. Betty rolled right into a big group hug with her new friends. Oh, thank you, she cried, full of joy. I was so scared. You saved me. Chip handed her one of his own chocolate chips as a welcome gift. That's what friends are for, he said with a big, crumbly smile. Everyone was cheering. They had done it. They had faced a big, scary problem and solved it by working together. The kitchen felt brighter and happier than ever before. They weren't just a crew, they were heroes. That day, the kitchen crew didn't just save a blueberry. They proved something very important. They proved that when friends help each other, anything is possible. It doesn't matter if you're a big piece of cheese or a tiny little pea. Everyone has something special they can do to help. Everyone's unique talents, when brought together, can solve even the biggest problems. Like a recipe, you know? Every ingredient is important to make something wonderful. It's just a beautiful thing. And so, as the sun set on the kitchen, casting long shadows across the counter, the four friends sat together, sharing stories and laughing. They had a new friend in Betty, and their bond was stronger than ever. The kitchen was their home, and their friendship was the best adventure of all. So next time you're in your kitchen, just remember the little guys. Remember that being a good friend and working together is the sweetest treat of all. And that's way better than any cookie. And I love cookies, so you know I mean it.